Timmy Drafton and Ron L. Blevins. We're here at Pasage Studios for a little interview. Gonna get to know Timmy a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Let's start at the beginning. Tell us your name, where you're from, and how do you describe yourself outside of modeling?
So my name's Timmy Drafton from Leicester, West Virginia. It's about 10 minutes from Beckley, West Virginia. And I would describe myself outside of modeling as just a free spirit person.
What was your upbringing like? Were you always drawn to fashion, photography, or performance growing up?
So growing up, I was adopted. My biological dad and mother had 13 kids, so we were all like split into two different families. So actually growing up with my oldest brother, his name is Patrick, I actually got my fashion inspo from him, and watching movies like Purple Rain, Teen Wolf, just different movies like that, man, always give me that inspiration growing up.
What's your favorite movie?
That's a very hard one right now, man. I'm kind of on the edge right now. I mean, probably The Breakfast Club. It's either going to be The Breakfast Club or Blow.
Not gonna lie, I've never seen Breakfast Club.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
I don't know, man.
Is that an L?
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Before modeling, what did you see yourself doing, or was modeling always the plan?
No, before modeling, man, I was actually very inspired by football. I played cornerback in high school, played football, always growing up. My dream was to always be in the NFL, growing up. So I dedicated a lot of my summers to going to camps, out-of-state camps. I attended WVU's football camp, Ohio State's football camp. Played in a lot of 707s, played with the 707 team from Charleston, West Virginia, called the 304 Boys. So that was my inspiration growing up. But as I grew older, I realized that, my body couldn't really handle as much as it could growing up when I was younger. So I don't know. I just feel like one day I seen my brother walk in with a fit that he was wearing, and I don't know, it just really turned a page for me, like with fashion, especially with the movies I watch, and just the different artists who I look up to in the industry right now.
Do you do modeling and acting? Do you just act or just model?
Well, right now I'm modeling, but I want to transform into acting. I want to learn both, so I plan on taking acting classes and learning that route, because the more on my resume, the better.
Right. How long have you been modeling for in general?
So I started modeling when I was 19 years old. Went to modeling school with Barbizon of PA in Harrisburg. So that's when the dream, it no longer became a dream. It was more like I was living in reality. You know what I mean? So just one of those classes. I mean, I had confidence. Well, I had major confidence in high school. I guess it was just from where I was always doubted growing up as a kid. And, any dream I had, was always shot down by other people. But I never let that break me. I knew I was different, and, I had to separate myself from people. So went to modeling school, graduated from modeling school, started to go in different castings, different states, just finding out what states have the best marketing wise, and what state I needed to end up at to get to where I need to be in the industry.
What's your favorite job? What would you prefer to model for, or who with?
I would say Calvin Klein right now. Obviously, I got a lot of work to do for that, but there's a lot of brands, just local brands that I'd like to model for. You know what I mean? I like all vintage clothing, anything 80s inspired a lot. So I like all the old stuff. The older generation is, I think it was a better time to be alive. Right. You know what I mean? Than now. It was definitely a lot more, how would I say, unisex too. Yeah. Right, with like clothing and everything. Back in the day, it was just like the crazy hair, crazy clothes and stuff. That's what I was drawn to.
A little bit more personality.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
So how did you get started in modeling? Was there a specific moment or opportunity that launched it for you?
Honestly, I did a shoot. I was shooting with Aiden Ish from my city. That was the first shoot I ever did, man. It was also, I think that was when I was 19. I don't know, Saw Baby, I guess. He's a music artist. He's actually one of the ones who, with the dreads and the earrings, cross earrings, and then the wrist spikes and stuff. I really love that style. You know what I mean? It was just different, and it just seemed like nobody else was doing it, and it was something that gained a lot of attention. You know what I mean? So I guess I watched a lot of artist interviews growing up, and just the things they were saying, like the routes they took to get to where they're at now. And I just started, taking some of their, roots, and then adding my stuff into it too, and just going based off of that. But Happy Summers and Ellie Colacerto, Zach Perry. Honestly, it started all with Zach Perry when I was 16. It was just a thing we used to talk about. We used to just drive around Beckley, just talking about our goals and dreams. He's a music artist now. He was into rapping. I would just ride around with him. He'd play his tracks for me all night. He'd pick me up most nights from my house, and we would just go from there. And then he asked me what I wanted to do, and I told him, I'm like, dude, I want to get into something, Right. I just don't want to be like a regular person. And then he told me, like, have you ever thought about modeling? Because you got the look. I mean, everybody always told me I had to look and stuff for it. And then I just really dedicated my time to that, because at first I was like, oh, this is a joke,
Right. How are you going to do that full time?
And I'm a small town kid from, bumfuck West Virginia, so it's like not really much going on out there. So it's very hard to get to that next level.
Yeah, because you guys drove 4 hours here, yeah?
Yeah, man, we drove 4 hours to get out here, man, and shoot with you guys. We've had a great time out here so far. And yeah, man, I mean, I just hope I can add this to my portfolio, and hopefully this helps me reach that next tier, that I'm aiming for.
Did anyone in your life encourage or inspire you to pursue this path specifically? A shout out type of a situation?
My mother, for sure, man. My mother died 4 or 5 years ago, right in front of me in the living room. I actually had a shoot to go to New York City that day. I was with VIP Ignite at the time. It was a media agency I was working alongside with. I went to go grab the mail. I came back, and my mom went into cardiac arrest right in front of me. I was bringing the mail to her. She was always my inspiration, man. Any shoot I had when I was in modeling school, coming home, she would always want to see the photos. She couldn't come to my graduation because her heart was so bad. She couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle being in a car. My mother was my everything, man. We also celebrate our birthdays 2 days apart too. Her birthday's on May 3rd, mine's May 5th. So just everything about her, man. Just the way she carried herself. She was a lovely lady, inspired all of us, especially raising that many kids, growing up, man. I owe it all to her. You know what I mean?
I'm sure she's very proud of you, my friend. Tell us about your first shoot or runway. What do you remember most from the experience?
My first shoot with Aiden. We shot in Beckley in like the parking lot or whatever, parking garage in Beckley. I had it was like a long sleeve cardigan on, like a black long sleeve cardigan, white, the wife beaters. They call them wife beaters, whatever. I had a white beater on, and just some black skinny jeans, man. We were just out there just messing around on camera and stuff. And that was my first shoot I did, but like I didn't really take it serious until I started to shoot with Happy and Ellie. Happy Summers. That's when I started adding in, the different clothing, because men don't really have a lot of options when it comes to modeling or clothing anyways, you know what I mean? The females, so like when I go in to shop, like I'll go to Goodwill or wherever to go get clothes, I always go to the women's section because they always have more options. Like, I don't know.
I tried that. I'm wearing purple, but I never tried.
You know what I mean, brother? So it's just like men don't really have that many options. So, especially having female photographers alongside of me and pushing me every day to be the best person I could be, they also helped me out a lot with that too.
Sweet.
You know what I mean, brother? So it was nice having them around, and they're still here, to this day.
Hell yeah. Which one of your most memorable or impactful gigs, and why did it stand out to you?
It was probably New York Fashion Week, man.
Yeah.
Going to New York Fashion Week for the first time. I mean, I'm from West Virginia. We do have a few models that have blown up from West Virginia, but they don't actually live in my city. They live in Charleston, like 40 miles away. Name's Aubrey Hill. She's basically blown up in the industry. Grew up in Charleston, West Virginia. So I guess like me getting invited to go to New York Fashion Week was one of the biggest things for me, just being how far away I was. And, I had to drive out there, and I really had to like just lock in and, just separate myself from other crowds to be able to get out there, to do that. So I would say walking across, walking the runway, and then Coi Leray being there. Coi Leray also was there too. She performed after the show. So just being around those type of people and individuals just motivated me even more. Just gave me more confidence. You know what I mean? So I would say that's my like most impactful thing that I've done so far. But also, spending time building my portfolio, like how I'm building my portfolio with you guys today, and alongside my people too. That makes it's heartwarming. You know what I'm saying? It's very heartwarming for me.
Celebrity crush.
My celebrity crush? It used to be Bella Thorne. I don't know. That sounds weird. I know, like a lot of people are gonna say that's weird though, Bella Thorne, but definitely her. But Her name's Daria something. Okay, so she was in a movie with Zac Efron, We Are Your Friends. I don't know if you have you ever seen that.
I don't think so. Slide
Okay,
again, bro.
so like basically Zac Efron was a DJ in the movie or whatever,
Okay.
and the girl was dating like the famous DJ. So basically like Zac and the famous DJ collabed and stuff,
Yeah.
and he showed Zac like more things to that would better him being on the board and stuff, and he got him a gig where he could perform at the Summerfest in Los Angeles, and he found out that like Zac was screwing his girlfriend. Behind his back and
Classic.
stuff. So she had went to Stanford at the time, and she was just confused about what she wanted to do with her life. Like me, I used to go to college, and I used to think like, this is what I want to do. I want to go to college. I want to get this type of degree in like business, or, I want to be, I don't know, like a RN or something. You know what I mean? But it's just like it's not for everybody. You know, like, I don't know. I just feel like we're forced to like go to college. So all of our teachers tell us, go to college, go to college, go to college. But they don't tell us like, about the debt and how much time we're wasting.
Yeah, right.
While I'm sitting in the classroom with you, I could be working on something else, more beneficial, or working a job to save up money to invest into a career where I'm making my own money,
Right.
Where I don't work for anybody. So I feel like that's one of the biggest things that lies I was told.
How would you describe your style, your presence, and what you bring to a shoot or a runway?
I'm a rock star for sure, definitely. What would I say, man? I keep a small circle of people close to me. Everything I do is with love, and I love the color black, of course, so I'll probably wear black more than anything for all my shoots. But it's more about like the people around me, that better me and keep me uplifted. I'm a very high energy person. I don't believe in. When you get a no in the industry, that's one thing. When you get a no in the industry, a lot of people tend to shut down.
Right.
Me, I like go back to the drawing board and see what I need to fix. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna get a lot of no's in life.
Right.
Especially for what I'm chasing, the career I'm chasing. It's not all gonna pan out, in the first year like you want. You're not gonna be on Vogue,
Right.
5 months from your model. If you do, congratulations.
Right.
But it's a lot of time, dedication, eating right. I'm a very spiritual person, so here recently I've become more spiritual than religious. So I'm more into like, tarot card readings, stuff like that, chakras, crystals, stuff like that. Man, it's given me a lot of peace and clarity, moving forward with my life and stuff. And it's also helped me, maintain a healthy mental balance within myself, So I'm starting to see like all negativity moving away from me, the wrong people I had around me, pulling away from me, and just, I'm just really on my path to greatness now. No longer putting it on hold anymore.
Yeah. Good for you, man. You are the sum of the people you surround yourself with. So I'm with that for sure. Outside of modeling, are there any other creative outlets or passions that you're pursuing?
Not really, man. Just working right now. My mentor, Josie Morales, always told me to keep my day job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially like family friends. I go to family events. Janine Walker, shout out to her. They treat me like family every time I come over, and stuff like that. They've always told me to keep a day job and stuff until this like blows up for you, which it doesn't happen overnight. So I do a lot of construction work and stuff like that. Just any type of gigs I can get with that. And I watch UFC. I'm a UFC fanatic. Love UFC. Watch it every Saturday. I'm trying to cut out that and stay more focused on my career and get in the studio more, get shoots done, interview vlogs. We're actually about to start vlogging a lot more. That's the plan. And attending castings, really taking this more serious, because the older I get, I realize like I'm running out of time. You know what I mean? And time waits for nobody.
No doubt.
So it's like I have to get it while I can now, because tomorrow's not promised.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, man, it's just the people I have around me, man, are really keeping me level-headed and motivated going forward. You know what I mean? And I couldn't thank them enough, especially my dad and my brother. When my mom died, man, I fell apart. I lost myself. And I didn't want to model anymore. I didn't even want to be in front of the camera anymore. I was just like, I'm done with it. I started doing things I shouldn't have been doing, gained an unhealthy amount of weight, and was just, abusing my body. Weed and all kinds of stuff. And I just I had to lift my head up, man, and just take it like a man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just kind of just like keep pushing, because I know my mom would hate if I quit on something that she watched me do, and she knew I loved it, and she loved me doing it. You know what I mean? So that's like the biggest thing for me.
For the people watching and somebody's out there trying to get into modeling, give them a little bit of advice.
I would tell them to don't watch out for scams, man, and don't waste your money on classes. Damn, that sounds bad. I'm not gonna say don't waste your money on classes, because I definitely need acting classes for sure. But a lot of this stuff, man, you can learn on YouTube. You know what I mean? And a lot of it is just within yourself. Like I feel like as people, we all have a special spark inside of us. We just have to find it. I just feel like it's more about confidence. A lot of people think it's about, oh, my grandma told me I look beautiful. I heard that before the casting. I'm just like, dude, that's not what it's about. It's not really about your looks. It's about your personality and the way you carry yourself. You know what I mean? I just feel like I would start off with digitals and stuff. That's what I've been having my boy Liz do here recently. Just had his first photo shoot done. Start out with simple stuff, photo shoots. Focus on your walk, the way you carry yourself, the way you talk. Being presentable is everything. You know what I mean? And then go get your photos done. Go find a dope photographer. Y'all guys have a lot of dope photographers in the studio right now. You know what I mean?
Shout out Roto Model.
Yeah, for sure.
He back filmed this.
Shout him out too. But find you a dope photographer, man. Get them digitals done. Body shots, headshots. Work on that, and then just start continuing to build your portfolio. Invest your money and time into that and not into other things. Well, how my name really got out was I was throwing a lot of parties in the city and stuff. That's how I marketed myself, which it worked a lot, because everybody, knew who Timmy Drafton was. Of course, they started to know who I was and what I do and stuff. And I love helping people out who want to get started in the industry, but I don't want them to make the same mistakes I made, because I spent a lot of money on classes that I didn't need to pay for, from certain companies and stuff, when I could have just learned it online and then just went to an agency with my portfolio filled with photos and experience and a comp card. Yeah. And that gets you right in the door. You know what I mean? Go to your nearest mother agency. We live in West Virginia, so we have to travel to get to those places. If you're in a big city, then take advantage of your resources around you. You know what I mean? But definitely, man, just don't give up on yourself. That's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want people to see you down. Especially, don't get down on yourself, too, if it doesn't work out fast. Because I've been doing this for years. I'm going on 7 years right now, you know what I mean? And I'm finally starting to figure out, like, all the ins and outs of how modeling works and stuff. So I know where I'm going, you know what I mean? Right. I know what's going to be the next step. Like, I know where my head needs to be, what castings I need to attend. I got the right team around me. I got my boy Blizz. I got my manager, Ty Coleman. I mean, we're building a whole team of serious people around me, and they're motivating me. We're all pushing each other because we want this, Small town kids from West Virginia. We don't have resources like that, So for like traveling, budget yourself, save your money. That's another thing that I had problems with doing, save my money.
You and me both.
Stuff. Like go to vintage stores, man. Your local vintage store. Goodwill. Goodwill became my best friend. Not gonna lie. There's so many different things you can get out of there. Amazon, Photographer was telling me about Amazon. Different earrings, pieces, anything like that. Hell, I don't know. Like your dad might have a coat in his closet that might look good on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That one outfit, being around those, I was always told only thing I need to do is be in that one room around a group of people, man. Get seen by that one person who could potentially change my life. Right. And I want to be in that room, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to get into that room. Yep. That way, I'm noticed, like being here with you guys today. It's just, of course, I was excited, like the whole ride up here. I was telling bro in the car, I was like, man, I can't wait till we get up there. Like, we're about to make some dope content. We're going to be around some new content creators, take it serious, and you guys are going to come up too.
No doubt.
Shout out to Pasage Studios. For real, man. So it's like, I want to be around guys like you know what I mean, who are on the way up and, and got people around you too also supporting the brand. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of people I want to be around, people that are not afraid to take risks, because I got take risks tatted on me. My finger right here. Why not? We take risks.
Why not? Amen.
We're a big risk taker over here, man.
What makes Timmy Drafton unique?
I would say my style, the way I carry myself, just my whole aura, man. When you get around me, like, I made a post the other night, like, if you're around me and you're in my circle, or, just anybody gets around me, man, who doubts herself, man, I'm gonna pick you up. You know what I mean? We had this conversation in the car on the way over here yesterday, me and my manager and, you know, boy Blizz, and we were just talking about how, like, you know, if somebody knocks herself down, you know, if you're my friend, I'm gonna pick you up. But if you continue to let yourself fall, then I gotta let you fall, because
Right.
at that point, it's just like you don't want it bad enough. You know what I mean? So me, like, never giving up on myself, and just the way I carry myself, man. I separate myself from a lot of people. I don't really like. I used to go out as much and hang around people, but I want to be around people that are more aligned with like my vision for things. You know, I'm not knocking anybody else's vision, because everybody has a vision that's important. I feel like
Right.
everybody has a different destination they're heading in their life and stuff, but I just think, man, I'm on a different path. You know what I mean? And just all the trauma I've dealt with, you know, throughout the years, and things I've seen up close. My best friend was also shot and killed. That's another thing. A month after my mother passed away. Rest in peace, Deontay. It's just he always would tell me too, man, you're just different. Like, you know, I'm always the kid who like stays behind and stuff, and I don't want to be where everybody else wants to be, because when the party ends, they're still gonna be there. You know what I mean? Like, when the party ends, I'm gonna be somewhere else. So I guess that's just the way I see it, man. I'm just climbing a different mountain.
Right.
So I guess that's what separates me from a lot of people, and my drive and passion, and confidence is just like no other. I can't really explain it.
Good for you, man. What are your goals moving forward, Timmy?
Well, I obviously want to come back here and shoot with you guys. I want to be signed to Wilhelmina. That's like one of the biggest things. I've been invited to Miami Swim Week. I got invited this year. I've been invited to LA Fashion Week. We're actually discussing that. We have New York Fashion Week September 12th. I don't know what artists are going to be there or whatever, but I want to get signed, man.
Yeah.
I want to get signed. I want to book that campaign that's going to like really make me take off. I want to also be on reality TV. Shout out to Kayla Martin. She's another person who, you know, I used to talk to all the time about doing shoots with and stuff, and watching her journey, just the people around me, just watching how her career took off with, you know, Love Island and stuff. That's another thing. It's just like I'm watching people closest to me like really make it happen, and I just know I'm next. You know what I mean? So I want to go to the top, man, and it's not really about the money, man. It's about really just making a statement, I guess. You know, that a lot of people thought I was done, but I haven't even started yet.
Well, thank you for coming, Timmy. I hope you learned something new about our friend here. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.